What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, CEO, MTS Nutrition, Chief Marketing Officer, tigerfitness.com, creator of the Outright Bar, as well as partner in the Ambrosia Collective, 015 Nutrition, Pump Chaser Supplements, as well as IFBB Pro, man, the Pittsburgh Pro. All right, this is the show. I remember back in the day, Ronnie, Jay, it was basically a precursor to the Olympia, where you would see your favorite bodybuilders in full off-season shape, getting on stage and posing, but nobody really pretended like it mattered because they were in the off season, and different people do off seasons differently. So with that said, here's what I saw. Okay. I saw 4 individuals: Derek Lunsford, Hunter Labrada, Nick Walker, and Brandon Curry, at different stages of their lives, of their careers, with different goals and priorities in mind and different ways of getting in shape. So let's be frank. People are dying. Bodybuilders are keeling over. The size game is not healthy. The more you push, the more risk you take. And let me explain. If you're on a high dose of bodybuilding supplements for 12 months, which a lot of these guys are, it is much more dangerous, risky, deleterious, whatever the word, to your health and your longevity than being on for, let's say, a 12-week prep, or even 20 weeks a year, or even 6 months a year. The joke used to be I do 2 cycles a year, the first 6 months and the second 6 months. Here's the deal. Pushing gear, getting that heavy in the off season, it might have advantages, but it also has, well, it's risk. With every major reward, there comes risk. We know that. So let me just read Brandon Curry's Instagram post, and then I'm going to elaborate and expand on it. And I want you guys to know what you think down below. Guest posing at the NPC Pittsburgh Pro was a great time alongside Derek, Hunter, and Nick. I didn't get to speak on the mic like I had wanted to, so I'll just post what I want to say here. And my wife, Brandy, and I will be going live later this week on our podcast to elaborate. So there is a great podcast. I'll link it down below. It's Brandon and Brandy on Brandon's YouTube channel, Brandon Curry All Access. With the passing of so many of my friends over the last few years, and especially as of late, I made a conscious decision not to try to push my body or exhaust my digestive system during this time, because my goal is not to win a guest posing event, but to win the Mr. Olympia, which will not be held until late December. It would have been irresponsible of me not to prioritize my health first right now, after being on back-to-back preps since last summer. If I want to look right come December, and if I want to be able to push myself beyond what I've pushed myself to do in the past, in order to make history this year, that is come back and win the Olympia, then I need to prioritize my health and allow my body the time off that it needs. After the passing of Cedric McMillan, I went and got my blood work done, and Brandon used the same doctor as me. I'll link him down below, Hormone Health and Wellness. So I know his doctor, and he's a great guy, and he knows what he's doing. He's keep Brandon healthy. I wasn't sure what it would look like, being that I just competed in the Arnold a few weeks prior, but to my surprise, my blood work was almost perfect. And I'm healthy as a horse, which is always good news. Great news, because I don't want my business partner dying. That would suck. That would really, really suck. I consulted my team. We all came to the agreement that I should focus on staying healthy and enjoy the fruits of my labor during this time as I head into my off season, and not push it going into Pittsburgh, although it was tempting. Next stop, high school graduation for his daughter. She's going to be playing pro soccer. As you know, she's good friends with my daughter. All for it. Brandon is 39 years old, reaching his 12th year competing as a pro, and he'd like to believe that he's made it this far with his body and health intact by being as responsible as he could over the years. Get your health checked out, kids. Don't overlook anything. Prioritize. And if you want your blood work ran, all that stuff, go to our doctor. I'll link him down below, Dr. Kurt, Hormone Health and Wellness, and his team. All right, guys, check it out. Close this bitch. Look, man, there was a time when I was saying that I don't know why these bodybuilders are dying. And I was guessing all over the place. Could it be this novel thing that was floating around in 2020? Could it be the cure to this novel thing? But then I realized, oh, some had it, some didn't, right? And then you look at Sean was older. He was in his mid 40s and he died of heart issues. John had pre-existing health problems. He died. Cedric, George, you run the gamut. Then you had Dallas before, Rich. And those are all guys who use a lot of stuff. But the thing is, and like I went over in the video about steroid use and running shit year round, and Mike O'Hearn and Simeon Panda, the reason I believe that there's a possibility they might be not on stuff. I'm not going to even say the N-word, natural, is because what they'd have to run to stay that lean and that on point and the same year round is crazy. So look at it this way. You had Nick and Derek, obviously in full, just full on, let's go mode, like full on blast mode, right? Like you could tell these guys are going hard and more power to them. Bodybuilding is an extreme sport. Bodybuilding, it's a risk reward situation, right? You got to figure out what your risks are, take them calculated. Now, there are bodybuilders who were able to not take as many risks. For example, Kevin Levrone played in his band full blown for about 8 months out of the year, prepped for about 4. 16 weeks, sometimes less, sometimes 12. Kevin would be clean year round, and then he'd go on and gain weight into the show. There's 2 ways to go about competing. Now, someone like Nick is still growing. He's still getting bigger. Nick can gain 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds in the off season. And I'm going to go into some personal anecdote if you want to stick around to that. Whereas Brandon, he made his big gains, 4 or 5 years ago, where he went from getting dead last in the Olympia to winning the Olympia. So Brandon at 39 years old, he might put on 3, 4, 5 pounds, which will look phenomenal on his frame on stage. But Nick Walker might put on 30, 40, 50 pounds. The older you get also, the more mileage you have on your organs, the more risk you're taking because you've been through more. Your joints, your organs, your body, your heart. Think about it, your heart's pumping to keep you alive every minute of every day, every second, every breath. Your heart has to beat. When you put strain on it as a pro bodybuilder, as an athlete, as someone on exogenous steroids, that's going to pose a huge issue. So for Brandon at 39 years old, think about it. You're going into the Olympia, and it's the biggest show, and you have to peak for one show. Brandon's already won the title. He has a Sandow in his office. He's good to go. All right, Brandon wants to win another one, but he's checked that box. All right, so Brandon going into this knows that at 39 years old, he's going to make some improvements. I guarantee it's going to be the best Brandon you've ever seen. But will gaining and getting up to 280, 290, 300 pounds, will it make him that much better of a bodybuilder? I'll argue it might even make you a worse bodybuilder. Look, man, I'm not one of those to debate whether being on stuff year round, taking cycling, receptors, blah, 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 nerd, science, whatever. At the end of the day, when you get older, it's just harder to put on lean mass. And you maintain what you've had because Brandon built his muscle over years and years and years of training. So Brandon could literally stop training and stop doing anything for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Well, 3 weeks, a natural person can do it, right? Probably take 2 months off and maintain everything and then just, blast into the show and be good to go. Someone like Nick Walker's still building, still kind of identifying who he is. Same with Derek. They're still building. This is the time to take the risk. You're younger. So what happens is, as you get older, you have to temper that. So who won the Pittsburgh Pro? Who won the posing? Nobody did. It's fucking May. The show's in December. A lot can change. They joke around with Brandon when he goes to Kuwait, and they say, you always come here looking like a normal person. But then he comes out looking like, the 15th Mr. Olympia, reigning Arnold Classic champion. And a very healthy individual. Who's a guy I play football with, our two-hand touch football with our kids. He's not your typical bodybuilder. He doesn't need to take those risks. So why would Brandon in May look like he's going to look at the Olympia? So I love all these armchair quarterbacks. A lot of them have never competed. Being like, oh man, Nick's going to win the Olympia, and he might. But not because of what you saw at the Pittsburgh Pro. It's fucking May. Nick's going to have to diet down. He's going to be a big mofo, but we don't know how Brandon's going to look. We don't know. And then he's another Hunter looked healthy. He looked great. Yeah, he wasn't as big as the other guys, but Hunter looked amazing. And it's May. We don't need to blow our wad in May. So here's my thing. So my training partner, Felix, he got up to 312 pounds this offseason. Probably gained a good 20 pounds of lean mass since he last competed and almost got his pro card, I believe, at the USA's, right? Or Nationals, one of the two. And the dude's going to probably get on stage. Got on stage at 238 last time. He'll probably be above 250, right? So I won my pro card. I weighed in at 211 pounds. I was on stage probably around 214, right? I didn't weigh myself. I'm just guessing. So I actually was like, you know what? I'm going to bulk up, see what happens. So I got up to 232. When I was weighed on, when Konevsky did that video weighing people at the Arnold in shoes and everything, 237 clothed during the day. Now, I'm going to get on stage at 212. Nothing happened. I literally just chunkied. I had to force feed and put all that stress on my body for what? For a half a pound? Why the fuck would I do that? I feel better at right now I'm 215 and a half, 216. I feel amazing. And I'm within 2 weeks of getting on stage all the time. Any given Sunday, I get on stage. That's a movie reference. Sorry about that. I get on stage. Why would I bulk? And people like Brandon and I, we've hung out. We have very similar metabolisms. So we can literally hang out, eat when we're hungry, not measure one macronutrient, and stay under 10% body fat. So why would we take in all that food, risk our health, for what? For what? You're just going to have to diet it down. And again, there's different phases. These young cats, the Lunsfords and the Walkers and those guys. All right, guys, you're trying to make a name for yourself. You're trying to bulk up. I get it. Go for it. Have at it. But you know who's doing it the smart way? Brandon. Brandon's never been a guy to bulk up to stupid levels in the off season. He's also probably the healthiest bodybuilder competing right now. You don't have to walk around at 300 pounds and use bulking as an excuse. There's never an excuse to be obese and unhealthy. It's working for Derek and Nick. They are professionals. They are the best at what they do. Derek's 250 pounds. He barely makes it down to 212. Will he be able to get down to 212? Derek's going to have to lose muscle. So why the fuck is he? Why? What is he going to do? He barely snuck in at 212 last year. How is he going to get that lean? So it's you're going to have to lose muscle. Anyway, why are you gaining all that mass? Time to go open, Derek. Time to go open. That's the healthiest way you could have done it, man. The healthiest way, 212, you're 212. You can't go above 212. So unless you're going open, there's really no reason for you to get that big. But I'll tell you what, man. Fuck, dude, he looks amazing. He looks good. Dave Palumbo and Chris Aceto were saying Lunsford would place top 5. I got that dude in my top 3 based on the current lineup. That dude looks good. But if he's going to get below 212, I don't know what the hell we're doing this exercise and bulking for. That's just putting, and even, guys, don't dislike this video for this comment. Let's assume Derek's natural, okay? Derek Lunsford is a natural athlete. You're still getting unhealthy, man. Being 250 pounds versus 225 pounds, 25 extra pounds for your body to pump blood to, for your body to keep alive, for your kidneys and your liver. It's putting more stress on your body. Man, he is a lean 250. How the hell is that, man? He's going to have to lose water out of every orifice in his body to get down to 212. Nick Walker, man, I've said enough about him, man. He's a freak. He's big. He's impressive. I love the guy. And he knows what he's doing, man. He knows what he's doing. And he's going for it. So, hey, more power to him. I want to see big, nasty freaks. I want to see the bodybuilding equivalent to Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, and Mark McGwire hitting 400 fucking home runs a year. I want to see the biggest, nastiest freaks. But we can't be judging bodybuilding shows that are going to happen in December, in May. Okay? At this point in time, Ronnie Coleman would have been 310 pounds eating Big Macs at bodybuilding. I've literally seen him do it. So the bottom line is, guys, what Brandon is doing is being healthy. We can't judge a bodybuilding show in December, in May, because there's different approaches. Again, Kevin Levrone was as high as a top 2 Mr. Olympia competitor, being off of everything, including the gym, for 8 months out of the year. I'll tell you what, though. If I compete as a pro, when I compete as a pro, what I've learned is that the older you get, the harder it is to put on lean mass. So especially, and it comes out, okay, take that back. If I just started lifting yesterday, I'd be able to make newbie gains still. But as a 41-year-old man, I'm not going to go in there and be like, man, I gained like 20 pounds this year. Nah, man, nah, I'm going to be 212. That's what's going to happen. So that's my opinion of what happened at the Pittsburgh Pro. That's my opinion of who won it. Nobody won it. It was a fucking guest posing. They weren't even wearing tights. But if we were judging that day and I had to pick the top winners, it would be this. If that was, let's assume that was the Olympia. Here's my picks. Number 1 would be Derek Lunsford, assuming this was the Olympia and they were being judged. Lunsford looked fucking stupid. Like stupid. Number 2 would probably be Nick Walker. His shape isn't my favorite, but dude, wow. Brandon, then Hunter. But who cares? It's a guest posing. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. By the way, heads up, the new Clash 3D launches in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. We also got the brand I have with Brandon Curry, 015 Nutrition. We got the new creatine in, just straight up creatine. 160 servings that last you about 6 months. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, shop at tigerfitness.com. And remember, that's not a game.
Does poor sleep keep you fat? Yes. Yes, it does. Not getting enough quality sleep will affect your health, mental, and physical performance. You're more likely to gain weight because your cravings go up, your stress tends to be higher, and your metabolism goes out of whack. Ritual PM not only helps you fall asleep, but also helps you burn more fat while you sleep deeper. Fall asleep, stay asleep, guaranteed. Ritual PM.